Okay. Come on. Yeah, here we are. We're up now. Yep, we're up and in. Yep, viewers are coming in the room as well. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones, and tonight we have another special show with another special man. We have Spike Sullivan, or better known as Gary Spike Sullivan. Spike, how you doing?
Great, Ingram, yourself?
I'm good. It's good to see you. You're just down the road from me at the moment, down in Dublin.
Yeah, where about you hanging out?
Well, I'm in Sligo.
Very good, very nice.
So not too far away from you, like 3 hours away on the train.
Yeah, nice spots.
Right, absolutely. So reason I've got you in obviously is because you know there's a big fight in the weekend. But before we talk about the big fight in the weekend, there's lots of things that have been going on in Irish boxing. There was a couple of fights from Murphy's Boxing this weekend just gone, which involved Steve Norman and Niall Kennedy, both getting good wins. Can you talk to us about both fights quickly, Spike?
Yeah, Stephen Norman, that a good tough fight. He won the IBF lightweight intercontinental title, and that's after moving him up and giving him a top 5 ranking in the world with the IBF. And Niall Kennedy had a good victory stoppage and kept his undefeated record. We also had Steve Collins Jr. out of the gym, and he had a good first round win as well. So it was a great weekend for the Irish in Boston.
Tell me about the experience of going out to Boston and boxing. What does that give you? What experience does that give you as opposed to just boxing in Ireland or boxing in the UK? And why Boston?
There's a big Irish community in Boston, so the Irish fighters tend to get a lot of support over there. And it's obviously a long flight, and it's a bit different. There's time difference, and it takes a bit of time to adjust to the time difference over there. And it's a good, tough experience, and makes things a bit easier over here. And they have also different style of fighting in America, and I think it's a better style of fighting. And when you come back, you can be successful.
Do you think that being that experience going to America makes you a better fighter, or do you think that's just an illusion because you're just going to another country?
I think they're more relaxed in America. They have a different style to the European fighters, and I think it's certainly good to have a mixture of both, and it makes you a better fighter to have a bit of the American style and the European style mix up.
Okay, we've got people in the room, so let's make sure people. Andy Wilkinson says, "Good evening, hi to Ingram and Spike." Good evening, Andy. Hope you're well. Just to say, shout out to Andy. Andy this evening did the beautiful fly early on, which has been put out to promote the actual show for tonight. So shout out to Andy Wilkinson for that. So we're talking about America and Spike and the Irish going over to America. Do you think that having more fights out in America and basing fights out in America rather than being in Ireland or the UK is more beneficial, or do you think you could do the same good stuff that you're doing in America in the UK? Or do you think there's a discrimination to Irish fighters in the UK, would you say, that don't get the breaks? I've heard that said a few times.
Well, I think it's probably hard maybe to get decisions in the UK for Irish fighters. I get a lot of support personally in the UK from the UK fans, and I actually like fighting there. I like fighting anywhere. I like to fight in the UK or America or Ireland. I just didn't really like to fight, but I think the fans in the UK are good, and America as well.
Does that help for marketability in the States, TV deals and stuff like that? Does that help you more being in the States and seen more often?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to fight on Sky and Box Nation in the UK, so that's been quite good for me. Obviously, they're pop American, so they're bigger audiences, I suppose. But I don't know. I think they're as good as each other, really, to be honest.
Okay, so good wins for Stephen Ormond and Niall Kennedy. Really good for those two guys. Ormond won a title out there, I believe.
Yeah, Stephen Ormond, he won the IBF lightweight intercontinental title, which gives him a top 5 ranking in the IBF lightweight division. And I think he's looking at some big fights now. He's trying to get a rematch with Terry Flanagan at the moment. And Anthony Crawler would be one that he'd like as well. And Burroughs, I think he'd fight any one of them.
Well, how do you think? You're talking about Anthony. You talk about the lightweight division. You're talking about Barroso going to fight Crawler next. How do you see that fight going, in your opinion?
I think it's a tough fight for Crawler. He looked Barroso looked very good against Kevin Mitchell. I actually was cutting weight with him for the Eubank fight in the same gym, and he looks a big lightweight, big strong, heavy hitting lightweight. So I think I hope Crawler wins it though, and that guy, after all he's been through and become a world champion, I wouldn't write him off. I'd never write him off, but I believe hard. And he might lose his title.
Okay, that's what a lot of people are thinking, that Barroso might be a bit too much for Corolla. But Paul Smith says that we shouldn't really look into Barroso and say, well, he's brilliant because he knocked out Kevin Mitchell, because Kevin Mitchell wasn't the Kevin Mitchell of old. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'd agree with that as well. I don't think Kevin was as good as he was when he was in his prime when he fought him. And I certainly hope I'm wrong, because Anthony Corolla is a really great guy, and I'd be rooting for him on the night, and I'd love to see him win it and have maybe a unification match with Terry Flanagan, or some big fights with Stephen Ormond and some other guys around the UK.
Are there any other fighters either in your gym or around in Ireland that you think we should look out for?
Well, yeah, I've just been sparring earlier on with Luke Keeler. He fights with Matchroom, and he's fighting Tom Dornan for a title on April 2nd. They both fought each other in the prize fighter, and it was a good fight. And this fight, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think Luke will be able to return to the defeat and get a revenge.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about something that's not so comfortable. We're going to talk about the Eubank fight. No, we sat down. We met when you were in. I think that's your phone again. That might just be the fact that somebody is tuning in, listening in, which is good. We're going to talk about the Eubank Junior fight. We're going to talk about, obviously when I met you, we spoke and we did the interview. You were pretty determined, and you thought you had Eubank's number going into the fight. Was there anything we weren't aware of, or was there anything that you felt that you maybe could have done better going into the fight, or do you think your preparations were spot on?
No, I believe that my preparations were spot on. I fully believed I would have beaten them, and I actually felt very relaxed. I think 7 of my fights previous to fighting Eubank, I knocked out 6 of them in the first 3 rounds.
Yep.
I got that feeling in the first round with him. I wobbled him with about 25 seconds to go in the first round, and I went back to my corner after the first round, fully confident I beat him as well within 3 rounds. I got a bit too casual. He landed a right hook on my left ear and burst my eardrum, caused my balance to deteriorate, and it happened to me as well previously, twice before, so I knew that the things weren't looking good from there on in, and I just tried to take him out as quickly as I could in the 3rd and 4th, and I wasn't able to do that, and from there on in, it was all downhill really.
So talk to me about Chris Eubank Jr. in terms of him as a physical fighter, as a boxer. Did he surprise you? Was he physically stronger than you thought he was? Was he a better boxer than you thought he was? Was he did he take a shot better than you thought he did?
I didn't. I actually expect him to be a better boxer than he actually was. I expect him to be stronger than what he was, and hit maybe harder than what he was. A solid enough puncher, but I thought he looked stronger than he is. But one thing that did surprise me, well, I shouldn't have been so surprised with the chin that his father had, but he was able to take a good shot. No, I never really landed cleanly on his chin, but he took a few good shots, and fair play to him. He took them, and he got a good chin.
Now, does that put doubt in your mind as a puncher, because you've knocked people out cold? We've seen you do it. I think people are retweeting our interview. For those wondering what the noise is, it's Spike, as his phone is attached to his Twitter. So every time somebody tweets or retweets, that sound goes off. So apologies. That's not dinner or somebody calling Spike out. That's just the Twitter going off. Right, Spike?
That's right, Ingram.
We have to make things clear. Some of our viewers sometimes they start asking questions. But anyway, back to our point. So we were talking about Eubank Jr. What were we talking about, actually? We've kind of lost train of thought there.
You were saying does it kind of give me this illusion about my punch power?
Yeah, your punch power. I mean, we talk about levels. So everyone says, oh, well, it's different levels. His punch power, when he moves up in weight, you know, it might not be there. Or his punch power, he may be able to knock out this level of opposition journeyman, but now we fought in world class or fringe world class, his punch doesn't travel. Where do you think that works for you? Do you think it was the fact that Eubank generally has a great chin, or was your punch power overrated, or was it just things can't balance themselves out?
Well, I wobbled him the first round. I shook him. I made him do a little dance, you know, and I think he done a dance quite a few times. But I never, after my eardrum was out, you know, my balance really actually.
You have to say that part again, guys. Sorry, you've been censored.
You know, I never actually got him like cleanly on the chin, and no, but he did got a good chin. But like one guy, I think I knocked out Anthony Fitzgerald. He went the distance with Andy Lee, who's renowned as one of the hardest punching middleweights in the world, and he went the full distance with Fitzgerald, and I knocked him out in one round, which I said I'd do, and he also went the distance with Hassan Adam. So I don't think anyone can ever question my punch power.
In terms of Chris Eubank Jr.'s punch power, when he hit you, what did you think? Were you hurt any more than you have been in your career, or was that just business as usual?
It was just business as usual. The punch in the eardrum was pretty bad, yeah, pretty nasty. And the accumulation of punches after were taking its toll for sure. But he's not like a very concussive puncher. I don't think he's a one hit. I don't think he'd be a very big puncher. I wouldn't consider him now.
So was he the hardest puncher you'd faced, you know, from sparring to actually in the ring?
No,
a night?
No, definitely not. Definitely not the hardest hitter. No way.
How does he rate for punch power? Because we saw Billy Joe Saunders drop Andy Lee a few times, some beautiful shots. How big a puncher is Billy Joe Saunders in comparison to now Chris Eubank Jr.?
Well, funnily enough, Billy Joe Saunders bust my eardrum as well in the second round. Three times it happened. In two fights, both those fights, and once in the spar with a Cuban lad. Billy Joe Saunders, I think, is deceivingly hard puncher. He's a harder puncher than he gets credit for. His timing, I think, has a lot to do with that as well. He's got very good timing. So I think a combination of his speed and his timing, I think he's a more dangerous puncher than Eubank.
So who do you think's got the better skill? Would you say Eubank or Saunders?
Saunders, definitely.
Are you just saying that because of saying it, or generally you just?
No, Billy Joe Saunders is a very slick southpaw. He's an Olympian and a quality boxer, and I think he's definitely got more skills. And Eubank Jr. might be physically stronger, but Billy Joe Saunders has the time and the speed, better time, and more naturally gifted fighter, and I think that's what gives him the advantage as regards knocking people out.
So, the story going forward now, we know you've burst your eardrum. What's the situation with your eardrum now in terms of like moving forward?
Well, I was actually considering retirement because I thought, you know, it's happened to me twice now in two fights and once in a spar as well. I thought there was a weakness there, but I went and seen top consultant in Ireland, and he told me there's no weakness there, and I was fit to continue on the box, and that my left eardrum is just as strong as my right, and that you've got a clatter even at the wrong angle will burst your eardrum, and there's no need to be concerned, and that's just bad luck, and continue on. And there's no need to.
Okay, we've got some people in the room. We've got quite a few people in the room. Let's see them. You've got Mark Smith in the room. Feed Khabib's in the room, guys. Thanks for joining in, and YouTube, thanks for joining in. Appreciate if we could keep the subject on Spike O'Sullivan, what we're talking about at the moment. I will address the other things maybe in a separate live show, but at the moment, let's talk. We've got Spike O'Sullivan in the room who's given us his time. Really appreciate the fact that Spike's in the room and talking to us. So, guys, if you've got any questions for Spike O'Sullivan, please feel free to say what you have to say. Andy Wilkinson says, Billy Joe Saunders is a very underrated boxer, has some serious skills, and he can give anyone problems if he's focused and fit. Now, Spike, I want to talk about, the situation with Billy Joe Saunders. He's been getting a lot of stick. People are saying, well, you know what? He's going to fight a guy called Bursak now, or I can't pronounce the guy's last name. Max Bursak, I think. Do you think that's harsh? That he's been given a lot of harsh treatment because now he won't fight Gennady Golovkin in his first fight, his first defense. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he actually would have fought him if he got the correct offer, which he would have been happy with. I think he would have taken the fight. I don't think he's avoiding him at all. And I think people giving him stick are silly, really, and some people are jealous and some people are silly and some people don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. Max Borzak is his mandatory challenger for the WBO title. He's going to defend him. He beat me. I was undefeated. I think he beat Nick Blackwell. He beat Eubank. He beat John Ryder. He beat all these guys and Andy Lee as well. And I think he's going to beat Max Borzak as well. And I wouldn't be one bit surprised also if he beats Gennady Golovkin myself.
See, I mean, you get to see things and a little things a bit more being a boxer and being on the inside of things. Has Billy Joe ever mentioned anything to you about, Gennady Golovkin and his thoughts on Gennady Golovkin? Because he has made some comments that fight fans have listened to and thought not very good of Billy Joe. For example, Billy Joe made a comment that, Gennady Golovkin would beat me and you in the same night. He was referring to Chris Eubank Jr. He'd beat me and you in the same night. And then people are saying, well, what kind of a fighter would openly admit that they'd get whooped by another fighter? Is that not a kind of mentality which would be kind of defeatist? What's your take on it?
I think Billy Joe Saunders, he says some things without thinking, to be honest. He's done it in the past quite a few times. I think he's very funny and he does say things just that he doesn't really mean. I speak to him quite a lot, and I think he believes if he'd like to fight Golovkin, and I think if he gets in that ring, he's believing he's going to win.
Okay, a lot of people would feel, a lot of boxing fans think, why didn't you make the first defense? You should fight, give Bursak step aside money and fight Golovkin. But the fight game doesn't always work that way. So
yeah, there's a lot of money involved as well, and the fight's going to happen anyway. I think in the summer, and Max Borzak is a nice warm up for the fight. Another nice little payment as well.
Johnny Lappard, good evening, Johnny. You're new to the show. He says, thoughts on Eamon O'Kane fight. What are your thoughts on Eamon O'Kane fight?
Well, it'll be a domestic fight for me because Eamon's from Northern Ireland, and I think it'll be a good fight. I know Eamon, we've sparred before and helped each other out, and he's a nice guy, and it's a fight that I'd certainly be open to, and I'd like to do it, and I'd be confident I'd win.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Johnny. Mark Smith says, why does Spike draw more fans in the USA than some top US fighters?
Some top US fighters?
Well, this is the question that's been asked.
What was the question?
I'll ask the question again. It says, let me go back and check. It goes, why does Spike draw more fans in the USA than some top USA fighters? Why does he think that is? So basically he's asking, the question being asked is, you seem to draw more fans in the USA, more fans than some USA-based fighters. Why do you think the case is that you've got that love in the USA?
I thought that would have been a simple answer. Self-explanatory, so I'm so pretty.
I don't know.
I'm only joking. I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe I've had shamrock. I sport the shamrocks in my hair, and I don't know. I come forward and have a fight, and sometimes I wear a kilt, and I don't know. Maybe they like that. I'm actually not too sure, to be honest. Maybe it's I'm Irish. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest.
You're a character. That's one thing. You're certainly a character. We're going to go back to the Eubank Junior fight again because that's the fight that most people know you for now. The Eubank Junior fight. I'm going to go back to that face-off. It's a question I've got to ask now myself. Don't go ahead. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Spike?
Yeah, just hold on 1 second. I want to give you a kiss.
Okay, hold the kisses. Hold the kisses for 1 second, Spike. Okay, right. I want to talk about. I want to talk about the. I'm going to knock you out, Chris. I'm going to knock you out, Chris. I want to knock you out, Chris. Talk to me about that because a lot of fans I speak to, boxing fans I speak to, say all Spike said was, "I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock him out." It was like on a robot on repeat. Why do you just keep saying that? Why couldn't you say anything else?
Because I believe I would knock him out, and as I just 100% believed I would knock him out, and I think only for my eardrum being burst, I would have managed to knock him out, and I think he got lucky in that sense that he did manage to burst my eardrum, and it would have been a different outcome if he hadn't. And I think when I retired, in the end, my corner retired me. I think he was a relief man.
Talk to me about that face-off. What is that actually? How does that all go about? Do you get to see one another before the face-off? Do you go behind the scenes and shake hands and say you're going to stand and sit in this corner, I'll sit in the chair, you sit in this chair, and we'll step one up? Or is it literally a case of you walk from one end, he walks from the other end, you sit down, and you don't see one another actually in the studios itself? How does it work out?
For that particular one, no, we went into the bedroom before it, and I told him I was going to put on the lipstick and give him a kiss, and he was very excited.
See, you're a bit of a character, aren't you?
No. We didn't see each other. Prior to it, we done the gloves were off, and I never intended on actually kissing him anyway, because he's quite an ugly bloke anyway, But not that I meant to kiss him anyway, but no, he threatened me. He said, "Look, if you kiss me, it'll be the last person you ever kiss." So I was like, "Yeah, right." So I gave him a kiss to see what his reaction would be, and I thought he'd actually give me a punch, but he didn't. He kind of backed off. I think he got a bit of a fright. I don't know, but I just like to upset him anyway.
Can you explain to me why you would want to kiss another man? I can understand the wind-up purpose of it, right? And I know you're a good wind-up merchant, but can you explain why you would want to kiss another man? There's other ways you could do. I mean, you could slap a man in his face, you can insult a man, but to actually go into his space and kiss him, would that not be a violation of human rights there, Spike? If we were really going to get anal about the whole thing.
Yeah, geez, my missus actually went for a blood test there recently, and one of the questions was, has your partner been with a man in the last month? If so, you can't do a blood test, so she had to cop out.
Oh my gosh! Let's see what people are saying in the room. Oh God. Mark Smith asks a question. This is Mark Smith. I didn't ask it. Mark Smith asks, who's the bigger prick, Chris Eubank Jr. or Chris Eubank Sr.?
Chris Eubank Jr., hands down, easy. I actually respect Senior. I think he's a character, and he was a good fighter, and I liked him when he fought. Chris Eubank Jr. is an absolute beep.
Is there still bad feeling between you guys, or is that just kind of like hype sort of thing?
No, not a lot. I hope he gets knocked clean out at the weekend by Blackwell. I was
hoping would get afterwards. So so it's genuine then between you guys.
Yeah, I think he's a complete a-hole, 100%.
Right.
I'd love to fight him again down the road and set the record straight.
Well, I know you said afterwards there was the apology. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean what I said. Blah 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 blah. Did you really mean that apology, or is this now just a promotion for an next fight down the road?
No, well, the thing is, he got like really upset, and I might have offended him on Twitter a few times about his dad and that, just having the banter, taking the piss out of him. Really, he got genuinely hurt by that and upset apparently. So, like, I didn't really mean to hurt him, and go overboard. Maybe I did at times, but it doesn't change the fact that I think he's a complete asshole still.
But some would ask the question, well, okay, Spike landed the big fight, he landed the money fight, and then he went quiet. Some would say, oh, he was in it for the money. How do boxing fans, how do you make boxing fans or convince boxing fans it wasn't about money, but more the case of the fact, obviously you're getting paid, yes, but that wasn't the motivating factor that you generally thought you could beat Chris Eubank Jr.?
Absolutely. I just gave the shit on the Twitter to create the fight and get the fight and make him get in the ring with me. And I genuinely don't like him. And I genuinely thought I could beat him, and I still believe I could beat him. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. I've got more people.
I didn't really have much to say to him, or after I got the fight, I didn't see the point and continue to give him grief. Really, I just wanted to bust him up.
Okay. John Lappert says, asking some good questions. He says, big fan of your punch power. Would you like to see Lee or GGG? Or would like to see you fight Lee or GGG? Absolute war. What are your thoughts on both? Maybe an all-iron fight, yourself and Andy Lee, or big fight between yourself and Gennady Golovkin?
Well, I suppose any fight in the middleweight division is a possibility, and an all-Irish class is obviously one that could happen. With Andy Lee, and I'd be down for that. Also, Gennady Golovkin is the number one middleweight on the planet, regarded as, and I think I'd like to fight him as well. That'd be a dream for me to be ranked as the number one fighter in middleweight in the world, and I'd fight him. I'd love to fight him.
Okay, what do you do now? You lose your fight to Eubank Jr. You've got a busted eardrum. What does Spike Sullivan do now to get himself back in the mix? Will you be making fundamental changes to your style? Maybe more work rate, or, what adjustments will you make? And of course, if your eardrum's always getting burst, is that more of a defensive thing? Do you need to work more on defense?
No, I just think it was bad luck. I've had 24 fights, thousands of spars. It's only ever happened 3 times, and I don't feel like changing much around. I think if that hadn't happened, I'd have won the fight.
Okay, so you're back in training now, I guess?
Yeah, back in training.
And how is it for you being back in the ring, sparring?
Fantastic. It's great. I love doing a bit of sparring. I love fighting, and it's great. It's tough. It's tough, but it's enjoyable.
Right, I've got Ben Blackwell in the room. Good evening, Ben. Ben saying, Junior, in my opinion, Mark, at least his dad got something to show for his career. So the feeling is that so far people are saying that Chris Eubank Sr., at least despite all the bravado and what he does, he's got something to back it up. He's got, world champion, X amount of defenses, whereas Junior hasn't done that much in his career so far. Would that be fair?
Well, that'll be rich coming from me because he's beaten me, so I can't really say too much about him at the moment. But I think, as I say, I'd like to fight him again. If he didn't bust my eardrum, I believe I could have won, and I'd like a rematch with him.
Okay, so
I think he carries on like he's world champion and he's had multiple defenses. He's extremely arrogant and just a complete arsehole all around.
Okay, let's talk about this next fight you're going to have. When do you think he'll be back out again, Spike?
May. I think he'll be out in the States in May. My promoter is trying to organise something for me right now.
What are your thoughts on Andy Lee potentially fighting Danny Jacobs?
Well, it's a good fight, I suppose, for Andy Lee. He's an ex-world champion, and it wouldn't be the first time he went to America and upsets the odds. So if it happens, 2 good guys. Well, I admire Daniel Jacobs as well. I think he's great. The miracle man, coming back from his battle with cancer and on to become world champion is an extraordinary story, and two good guys, and I wish them both luck. And if that fight can be made, best luck to both of them. May the best man win.
Would you ever take a fight with someone like Matthew Macklin?
I'd fight anybody, no problem. Yeah, I asked him to fight a few times before, and it never happened.
Is there any fight? I know obviously the Eubank fight is the fight you really want, but is there any fight in particular other than Eubank Jr., maybe Billy Joe Saunders? Is there anyone else you really like to fight? If it's a dream fight?
My dream fight would be Gennady Golovkin, really, because he's a number one, and you know, you got to shoot for the top, and it'd be epic to beat him. And you know, one thing's for sure, if I got in the ring with him, I wouldn't be afraid of him. I think quite a lot of opponents, like kind of like Mike Tyson factor years ago, people were beat before when they got in the ring, they were beat already before they even got in. That wouldn't happen with me. I'd relish the challenge, and I'd be up for a fight.
He does hit extremely hard, Gennady Golovkin, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, so do I.
That's the way to think. That's the way to think. Neil Hart asked the question, can you still become world champion?
Absolutely. My friend Steve Collins was beaten 3 times before he became world champion. I think Mickey Ward was beaten like 11 times before he became world champion and a Hall of Famer. So absolutely, he can definitely become world champion.
Andy Wilkinson says, just have to say, Spike must be seen as a legend as he rocks the most awesome facial hair ever.
Thanks very much for that. Can't grow it on my head, so I gotta have it somewhere, I suppose.
Let's see. We've got more people coming in, more people commenting. I just want to refresh the stream, so bear with me, boxing fans. Just going to refresh the stream so I can see the questions being asked. There's quite a few people in the room. Quite a few questions. Okay. Here we go. Mark Smith asks, what's your favorite fight of all time and favorite fighter?
Good question. I'm a big fan of the Mickey Ward or Arturo Gatti fights. I think they were really good fights. And what was the second question? My favorite fight term.
Favorite fight and favorite fighter.
And Mickey Ward again would be well up there. Steve Collins, I would have looked up to them, and Evander Holyfield was a real hero of mine as well. I thought he was an unbelievable fighter, supremely conditioned, and he ruled the cruiserweight division and moved up to heavyweight, and you know, became 4 times heavyweight world champion. Was an amazing achievement. I had the honor of meeting him in New York. We done an interview together in Sirius Radio, and it was a dream come true.
On the subject of fighters moving up and being legends, Amir Khan, who will be joining you in the middleweight division, recently said that if Sugar Ray Leonard could do it against Marvin Hagler, I can do it against Canelo. What are your thoughts about A, Amir Khan, the middleweight, and B, Amir Khan, the middleweight versus Canelo?
Well, firstly, I don't agree with him fighting at 155 pounds. I don't think the catch weight should be allowed for a world title fight. You know, it's a 160 pound championship title, and them fighting at 155, I don't agree with it. So they're not proper middleweights for a start. But I think he can beat Canelo, although Canelo will probably be the favourite going into the fight. But I think it's possible that he can beat him. I think he's.
Let's imagine Spike or Sullivan versus Amir Khan at middleweight. You're fighting Amir Khan. You're a middleweight. You're a naturally bigger man. What are your thoughts, and how do you go about fighting a man like Amir Khan?
Well, I think he's got a suspect chin, Amir Khan, and I'm bigger than him and stronger, I suppose. And you know, he's quick. He's very quick. I suppose I'd have to work a lot on speed myself going into that fight and being mobile and quick on my feet and get in to be able to land on him. You know, like Danny Garcia did in Prescott. You know, I'd have to watch those fights and see how he's caught.
Moving up in weight, do you think his chin will get better? I spoke to Abel Sanchez, and he believes that him moving up in weight to 155 pounds is going to suit his durability as opposed to weaken his durability. What are your thoughts on that?
Not quite sure on that. Maybe when he's lighter, he's more drained and more susceptible to be knocked out. But I'd have my doubts. I think the bigger men hit harder, and he's getting knocked out by smaller guys. The bigger guys could certainly knock him out. I think that's what I'd be inclined to think anyway.
Okay, I mean, you yourself are a middleweight. I've met you in person. I've seen the size of you. Now, I don't think you blow up that much as a middleweight, but after middleweight, you've sparred when you're heavier? Does that mean you absorb punches better when you're bigger, or is that just, what is that? Because Amir Khan said, well, when I go up in weight, I punch harder. So I'm going to ask you, Spike, how does that work with you?
You definitely punch harder when you're heavier. When you're 12 and a half stone or thereabouts, you'll definitely be stronger and have more weight behind the punches, and you definitely hit harder for sure when you're heavier.
But is that an illusion? Because people that move up in weight, they, like, for example, we had that situation recently with the Irishman, Conor McGregor, moved up 2 weight divisions, and the same punches that were knocked out, Dos Santos, is not the guy knocked out, be able to move up in weight and then throw that same left hand, and the naturally bigger man was able to shake it off and still be there.
Yeah, what I will say is, just for example, I sparred Luke Keeler earlier on today, and
yes,
I'm outweighing him by a few pounds right now because he's further advanced in his camp and he's closer to the weight than I would be.
Yes,
but he said to me after the spar that he felt that I was very powerful today, but that's because I'm carrying some weight. But if I got in the ring with a light heavyweight,
yes,
or it wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't take the same effect on them as I would on a guy at my regular weight who's a little bit lighter than me.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Interesting. People in the room. People start asking questions. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. It says, Feet Khabib says Spike only has 15 KOs in 22 wins. Why was the plan to KO Eubank, who has never been hurt in a fight? Spike?
Because I believe in my punch power and I believe I can knock out people. 15 knockouts isn't too bad, and I've had a disqualification as well, and I've had a loss, 2 losses. So I just believe they have the punch power to knock out people.
Okay.
Other fights that I didn't manage to get knockouts were shorter duration fights that were against journeymen that were, weren't there to fight. They were more defensive and just didn't want to be knocked out, and they wanted to move on to the next payday. And
Okay. Mark Smith says best up and coming fighter.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, best up and coming Irish fighter.
I think that guy Jake Paul actually is a pretty good up and coming fighter. I think he's a tall, strong southpaw. I think I like him. I think he's gonna go far.
Absolutely. I remember I interviewed him just before he turned pro. Very nice man. Very articulate, and he's got a lot of boxing ability there, Jake Paul. Got a shout out to Jake Paul. Bobby Gunn, who I interviewed 2 days ago, said the same thing about Jake Paul. He said that this guy's going far. He's going places. Yeah, so shout out to Jake Paul. So there's an answer there, Jake Paul. Can he tell us a funny story from his experiences in the sport of boxing?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'll just tell you this one. When I was having my first fight in America, I was really excited to be in America and excited about having the fight there. And I look out my bedroom window and I seen an ice skating rink the night before the fight, and I couldn't sleep because I got too much energy. So I went out and rented a pair of skis and went ice skating. Haskell, my trainer, said that he's going to handcuff me onto the bed the next time and make sure I don't leave the room.
Ice skating the night before a fight? Spike.
I know.
Oh, Spike, where did the kissing come in? When did you when did you think about kissing another man before a fight? What inspired that?
I'll tell you what happened. What inspired that was I was fighting a guy called Anthony Fitzgerald. You might remember that fight.
Yes, I remember that fight.
So what actually happened was he put his head, he stuck his head kind of like head bopping me, pushing me with his head, and he pushed me. My instinct was to actually punch him because he had a big hostile crowd with him on the day, like at the press conference.
Yeah.
And I thought if I punched him, I might with my bare fist, and I might bust his mouth or cut him, and fight them would be off. So I said it'd be a bigger insult just to kiss him and make him out to be like a little fairy and just insult him and laugh in his face. So I kissed him and just laughed at him, and he became really upset and really annoyed him. Then when it came to the Chris Eubank case, Fitzgerald was the only guy I kissed, like, just now you explained why just there. And
Yeah.
what Eubank was, he threatened me at the gloves are off. He said, if you kiss me, it'll be the last person you ever kiss. So I said, it was obviously affecting him very badly, and he wouldn't do the face-offs, and he was afraid I'd kiss him. So I just obliged him in the end, and also because he told me if I did kiss him, it was the last person that I'd kiss. So I was like, here's your kiss, now what are you going to do about it? And he done very little.
Has there been anybody in your career you've actually literally want to kick off with and actually just have a fist fight with before the fight?
Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. I really have a dislike for him. I'd nearly like to go over now and on Saturday night and go to the fight and give him a slap after it. If he doesn't get knocked out before that, hopefully he does.
Question was Mark Smith asked. Let's see what we've got here. Wow, that's a lot of questions in here. Ben Blackwell asks, what does Spike feel on what needs to be done to improve the pro boxing scene domestically in Ireland, as there's a lot of skilled fighters but don't get enough attention?
Well, the TV, I think, is a big problem. We've got very bad coverage with TV, with none of the TV channels covered here in Ireland. The only opportunity we ever get with the TV is if Eddie Hearn comes with Matchroom and Sky have it, or the MGM come with a Box Nation. That's not likely to happen again in the future, I don't think, because of the misfortunate events that happened in the Regency. So I think that's a big problem, and we don't have many venues, I think, and we just don't have the capability to promote fights here without television, and it's an uphill struggle all the time, unfortunately.
For those people who don't know, could you let, because obviously there are people here that may not have known what happened, the unfortunate events in Ireland or Dublin. Can you give boxing fans more insight as to what happened?
Well, there was a scheduled fight to happen in Dublin, and Box Nation were covering it, and there was a weigh-in at the Regency Hotel, and there was a shootout. Basically, some guys came to shoot some other guys at that were attending the weigh-in, and I think one guy got killed and two other guys got injured with the shooting, and I think a lot of people got frightened, and I think it was bad for boxing.
Yeah, it was. It's were you there at the time? Were you there at that event, or were you far away?
Fortunately not. I was at home with Cork with my family. I was scheduled to go to the fight on the Saturday night, but fortunately I wasn't there on the Friday to win.
That's a big blow for Irish boxing, really is.
Yeah, I think so. But there was meant to be two shows. MGM went to have two shows that night.
I remember.
The Saturday night, and they were both cancelled, and that was a big blow in itself.
Guys, Ben Blackwell says, thanks, mate. It annoys me that there are no major TV other than RTE as a regular basis showing fights. That's what Ben Blackwell's saying.
Yeah, RTE they got behind Bernard Dunn when he was at the height of his career, and done wonders for him in this country. And unfortunately, they dropped off out of boxing after Bernard Dunn was gone, and it's for the demise of professional boxing in Ireland for sure.
Spike, Neil Hart, good evening, Neil, says, what's the best arena you've boxed in, Spike?
Well, I've been fortunate enough. Upton Park, I like West Ham United Football Club, and I got to fight in Upton Park. That was quite good. The O2 Arena in London is really nice, but the most iconic one was Madison Square Garden. That was great. In Boston, there's some good venues. I like to fight at home, and Neptune and Cork was actually quite good. But I suppose Madison Square Garden is the pinnacle for any fighter.
Wow. West Ham football ground. Many good memories there. My cousin used to play for West Ham many years ago, and he moved to Tottenham.
You know what? Actually, that fight was on my birthday on July 14th in 2012 when I.
You know something? Your birthday's in July the 14th. July the 15th.
Jeez, there you go now.
There you go. See, good people, good people.
That's it. Double celebration.
That's it, double celebration.
Yeah.
By the way, it's my 40th.
That's my 21st.
Hey, you can't lie to me. You're on box rec.
The date's wrong. They get everything wrong on that. I think it's got 21 on that. It's 10 years wrong.
Let's see. Spike, have you ever met Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I've actually done a bit of sparring with him before, yeah.
What's he like as a fella?
He's actually a nice guy, and I admire him, you know. He's just a normal, regular guy like myself or any other fighter, and he's gone to huge heights and managed to earn crazy money, and I admire him for it, and long may it continue.
So the talk that McGregor gives, all that talk about he's this and he's that, blah, 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 is that TV or is that the man? Because I've met Tyson Fury on a few occasions and I've interviewed him, and I know that the man that does all the talking is the salesman, and the man behind that is such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Is that the same for Conor McGregor?
I believe so. Yeah, I think two of them are very similar that way, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Two nice guys, and they talk the talk on the camera, and sell like hell, and they're making a fortune out of it, and fair play to them.
When was the last time you saw Conor McGregor?
I haven't actually seen him for quite a while. He goes to our gym, Celtic Warriors gym in Dublin here quite a bit. But for some reason, I'm always seem to be in Cork when he comes to our gym, or we always seem to miss each other. But he comes there quite frequently.
Do you think he makes a call first and says, "Is that Spike or Sullivan there?" So if he's there, I'm not coming.
I think that's the problem. He's afraid I'll give him a kiss.
Let's see. Do you think he should have the rematch against Diaz, Spike?
I think so, yeah. At a later weight, I think Diaz will have to boil down more, and he won't have as much resistance, and he won't be as big. And McGregor will be, I think, take him out.
What are your thoughts to see McGregor get beat like that?
Well, it can happen to anybody. I think, Diaz is a tough guy, and got good resistance, and McGregor got tired, and he got taken out.
Spike, do you ever see yourself being an MMA fighter? The question has been asked by, let me see who asked the question. Neil Hart asked the question, would you ever fight MMA?
Yeah, if I got enough money, I consider it, yeah. I've never really done wrestling or anything. I've done a tiny bit of judo, all right, but not an awful amount of it, But I think looking at Conor McGregor, he predominantly does stand-up and does a lot of boxing, and he's quite successful, so I don't see no reason why he couldn't do it. Okay,
the question before asked about the McGregor thing and about Diaz fighting the rematch with Diaz was asked by Mark Froggatt. So good evening, Mark. Here's a tough one for you. Would you ever throw a fight?
Definitely not.
Let's just say you're in a tough fight or you're in a good fight and you're the underdog and you chin the champion and the champion's wobbling, goes back to the corner. Or better still, you're in a fight and you're not considered much. You're meant to get dusted over a couple of rounds. Spike's going to get chinned in a couple of rounds and you land a good body shot, really good body shot. You start to close the favorite down. You start to hurt the favorite with body shots. He starts to wince. He backs up against the ropes. The bell goes. You go back to the corner. The promoter comes running around the corner, comes to the ring and says to you, "Here, for another 10 grand, I want you to, don't come out for the next round."
He just get a body shot himself then.
So you wouldn't pull out then?
No way.
100,000?
No. Maybe $1 million. Nah, I wouldn't. Nah, jeez, I couldn't.
Why?
Just I hate losing. I don't like to lose. I want to win. Winning is more important to me.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's see what else we've got in the room. Good evening, Gazzo. Gazzo. Evening, Spike. Says Gazzo. Apart from Tyson Fury, who does he see as the next top heavyweights? And does he see any of those beating Tyson Fury?
I think Deontay Wilder is quite dangerous.
Yes.
He's a dangerous fighter. Povetkin as well is capable of beating him. Possibly. I think Tyson though is the one. I think he's the main man right now, and it'd be very hard to beat. But with the punch power those heavyweights have, I think any one of them is capable of victory against each other.
Here's one for you. Lucas Brown has been tested positive for clenbuterol. It's it opens up the lungs so you can breathe more, so you probably can do more rounds, your breathing's better, and it's also used for cutting weight. Let's say you go abroad and you fight in someone's backyard and they slip something in your water, and then you come back, you've won the belt, you come back, and then you get tested positive for a drug and you're innocent. How would you go about proving your innocence, even though people now call you a drug cheat?
I'd say it's pretty much impossible. There's a saying that if you throw enough shit at a wall, some of it will stick.
Yes, it.
I think it's impossible for people to actually. Well, they might clear their name and they might officially get cleared, but people will always have a doubt in their mind, and it's very sad to see whether he's guilty or not. I don't know, and I don't know much about it, to be honest. About
yeah,
I googled the name, but I seen that it's using inhalers as well. So
yes,
I don't know. I don't know. I just honestly don't know. I don't know how people even take it. Like, do they inject it or what do they do? Or I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Have you fought any fighters or been around fighters that you think, you don't have to name names, he looks like he's on it? And if so, how would you tell if somebody's on the PEDs?
I don't know. A lot of people thought Chris Eubank Jr. was on him actually, and he disappeared for like long period of time, and nobody knows where he is before fights. He's got gone for 8 months to God knows where, who knows, and I don't know. I think he's a bit suspect.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. Mark Smith says, "How big is the problem with drugs in boxing?"
I honestly don't know. Like, I only know the fighters in my gym, and a few other guys have come in sparring, and I don't think any of them would be inclined to use drugs, to be honest. And I'd be very shocked when I hear somebody's after taking drugs. Like, like I was shocked to hear about Lucas Brown, and I googled the name of the drug, and I was like, "What is that?" And I seen this also used in inhalers, and I don't really know much about drugs, to be honest.
Okay. Questions asked by Mark Smith. How big is the problem with drugs in boxing?
You just asked me that question.
Oh, sorry.
Did he punch you as well?
Yeah, I might have punch drunk myself. No, that's the question I'm going to ask you. Sorry, my apologies. Neil Hart asked the question. What's the lowest and highest weight you would fight at?
Well, I suppose I'd take on Tyson Fury. Heavyweight. No, I'm only joking. I'm kidding. I don't know. I was even kind of considering going down to light middleweight, to be honest. I was thinking I might be able to make it. Okay. I think I have the punch power to go to super middleweight. I done a lot of sparring with Frank Buglioni and Martin Murray, and I think I can handle myself at that weight division as well. But I think maybe if I went down to light middleweight, my punch power might be even increased. I might try it out.
Let me give you a picture here. And it sounds quite incredible now. You think of someone like Roy Jones Jr., who was like a middleweight, moved up to light heavyweight, and then fought for the heavyweight championship of the world and won it. Could you imagine yourself moving from middleweight up to heavyweight and fighting Alexander Povetkin, for example, for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Yeah, I'd have my tactic would be to like run underneath his legs and back out till such time as he get dizzy and knock him over. uh, but no way, man. They're too big. Them guys are just unbelievable. Like Tyson Fury is 6'9".
Yep.
I suppose I could jab the ankles off him. If he wore shin pads, he'd be safe against me.
What's the heaviest guy that you've sparred with, or the biggest guy you've sparred with?
Oh, I sparred Mike Perez, all right.
Mike Perez.
Yeah, he was heavyweight. Yeah, I sparred with him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, sparred with him.
What was that like?
I was quicker, but he was more powerful, and he broke my nose actually.
What were you sparring Mike Perez for? I mean, what would you have gained sparring Mike Perez? Apart from the fact that if he hit you, you're a goner, and he's got good skills as well, Mike Perez.
He knows I gained a broken nose for one anyway. You know what happened actually? I was sparring with a guy called Luis Garcia. I don't know if you know him.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's a very good fighter actually, but he'd just come in from Cuba at the time. Gary Hyde had just brought him in, and he wasn't very fit, so he just done 4 rounds, and then Mike Perez jumped in, and he was having like what was meant to be a move around, and I was a bit quicker. I caught him with a few shots, and I hit quite hard, and I think I hurt him. Well, not stunned him, but stung him, and he gave me a full force haymaker left straight in the nose. When I seen it coming, I put my hands up to stop it, but it was that powerful. It just split my guard in half and just landed on my nose and broke my nose.
Is that something you would do again? I mean, sparring with a heavyweight that good?
I don't think so. No, well, it's not a very good thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, let's talk about Frank Buglioni, a man from my neck of the woods in the UK, in North London. Now he's over with Don Charles. Talk to us about Buglioni and why you think he probably left, the gym with Steve Collins and Pascal Collins and moved over to Don Charles' gym.
Well, I think it was quite expensive, coming over here and renting an apartment in Dublin city centre and having to rent a car, and it wasn't really working out. Like, he tried it for a long time, a year and a half, I think 18 months, yeah, and it was a lot of expense, and he's really well liked the gym, and he's missed, he's a very nice guy, and we're just chatting to him this week, and we remain very good friends, and he remains a very good friend of everybody at our gym, and he's going to come back and I'm sure, and do a little bit of sparring in the future, and he's a very nice guy and is a very nice guy, and we miss him at the gym.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. What does this is Cameron Gillen? He says, what does Spike feel he could work on to elevate himself to another level in boxing?
What's the question?
Cameron Gillen asks, what does Spike feel he could work on to elevate himself to another level in boxing? So basically, Spike, what could you do to make yourself a better fighter?
I think everybody can become a better fighter.
But what would you do to make yourself a better fighter?
I don't know, maybe work on my speed, get a bit quicker, and get more quicker on my feet, and I think I could do with a bit of more movement rather than relying on my power and walking guys down and smashing them up.
Maybe not getting hit in the eardrum.
Yeah, I think I might ask my mother to knit me a pair of earmuffs.
Okay, next question. I think you'll like this question. Cameron then asks, also, would Spike consider lipstick for his next kiss?
Definitely. If I fight Eubank again, I'm getting a cherry pink for him. Head off him.
Okay, let's see. Mark Smith says, Spike, you're an effing legend. Total nutter.
Thanks.
Told you, we've got some great boxing fans, really respectful. Thank you for that, Mark. Appreciated. Mark Frogger asks, does Spike think Billy Joe can beat Gennady Golovkin? I think we spoke about that earlier, but just again.
Yeah, I believe he can beat him and cause an upset. If he was to fight, I might actually put a bit of money in the bookies that he'd win the fight. I think he's a very underrated fighter, very quick, better puncher than people give him credit for. Good movement, and I think he can cause Golovkin some problems, definitely.
Okay, this is going to be the part of the evening that I think a lot of people want to hear your opinions on. First of all, have you ever sparred with Nick Blackwell before?
I've never sparred with him. I've actually been ringside when he was sparring. We were both sparring Frank Buglioni, helping him prepare for his fight with Chudinov for the super middleweight world title.
Right. How does your style differ to Nick Blackwell's style?
I think he's a bit busier than me.
Yeah.
He's taller. I don't know if he punches as hard as I do, but he's a good boxer, good busy boxer, and he hits quite solidly because he stopped John Ryder, and John Ryder's a good fighter also. So I think he does carry a bit of power.
Okay, so I'll leave the floor for you now, Spike. Give us your breakdown of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Spike versus Spike or Sullivan versus Nick Blackwell, and tell us the keys to victory for both fighters in your special way. Floor's yours.
Well, I think Nick Blackwell's got a very good jab, and he's taller than me. He's got a longer jab than me. I was successful with the jab before I got my eardrum burst, and I caught Eubank with several jabs. I think if Nick Blackwell sticks behind his jab, he can out jab Chris Eubank Jr. and for the first few rounds. And I think Chris Eubank also was tiring a lot. When the fight was finished with me, he seemed like he was running out of energy, and I think that Nick Blackwell is also quite fit. He trains very hard, and if he can outbox Eubank for the first few rounds and remain to be fit and continue to outbox him, I think he can beat him on points or maybe a late stoppage even.
Okay, the uppercut of Chris Eubank Jr. You seem to get hit by the uppercut a lot in that fight. Is there anything you could have done to avoid those uppercuts?
Yeah, if I hadn't got my eardrum burst in the first place, possibly. That definitely didn't help. I felt off balance. I felt as though I had to kind of lean down this way a lot.
Yes.
And I lean onto the right uppercut. Basically, I feel like I was off balance going over to my right hand side. So I felt the need to lean to my left, and I continued to get caught with the right uppercut, but I hadn't much choice really.
So when you burst an eardrum, what exactly is the feeling? What is that? What do you lose, or what happens when your eardrums burst? Explain that to me.
Well, it's to do with your equilibrium and your balance. It's quite common in scuba divers, and I believe when they
Spike, are you still there? Spike? Oh, I think we've lost Spike. Sullivan, hold on. Is he back? Spike, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Don't know what happened there. Okay, can you go back and say what you were saying again? Repeat what you said again about your equilibrium.
Well, it ruins your equilibrium. The gases in your head, and it's quite common in scuba divers, I believe, when they go down to a certain depth. Their eardrum bursts, and they don't know whether they're going down or up or sideways. So that one happens to scuba divers. So when it happens to a boxer, it's quite hard to focus, and it affects your vision because your eardrum is very close to your eye. It's hard to see the hands. The hands are a bit blurry, your opponent's hands, as you're looking at them, and to stand up straight is quite hard as well to let it move around the box and try and pick off the correct balance to punch. So pretty much kind of it's not a good situation.
Okay. Mark Smith says, thank you for answering his questions. Mark Frogger asks, how would Kell Brook do if they ever fought?
I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think Amir Khan could win that one as well. I think it'd be a fight that could go either way. It'd be one I would like to see. Very interesting fight.
Okay, let's see what here. There you go. Who asked? I think it's Gazzo was asking this question. No, it's Neil Hart asked the question. Do you rate how do you rate Anthony Ogogo?
It's hard to tell. I think he's had well-selected opponents. I think he's a bit of a small bit of Chris Eubank factor about him. I think he's a bit of a mouthpiece. I wouldn't mind to fight him down the road as well. I think he actually said recently that he'd like to fight me, so he wants to
That'd be a good fight. I would start with you favourite in that fight because I'm not sure about Agogo's chin.
Yeah, I haven't really watched an awful lot of him. I watched one or two fights with Golden Boy. I don't know whether he's a suspect chin or not, but he seems a bit arrogant and a bit of a mouth, and he's saying that he could beat Saunders and Eubank and me, and I seen an interview he said that, and I think it's a bit premature for him to be talking like that, and needs a little bit of manners put on him.
And Carl Froch, your thoughts on him still? Has the water gone on the bridge between yourself and Mr. Froch?
Yeah, it has. There was nothing anyway, and really, it started just, it's just a bit of banter, a bit of crack, having a bit of laugh, he was a very tough guy, and I always admired him as a fighter, and I think he comes across a bit silly at times, but he's relatively new to being a Sky Sports pundit, and with experience, I'm sure he'll get better.
Did you and him ever kind of settle differences between what he said about you, and Glenn McCrory corrected him about what he said about you? I think below British standard level or something like that he said about you.
He said I was domestic level. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I think he said that because I was slagging him off for chopping down trees and swimming, and he's having to laugh, and I think he's quite a big ego, and he didn't like being slagged off, and so when the opportunity arose for him to have a pop with me, he did.
Okay, that's where it was. Okay, let's see. Spike, Cameron asked the question: if you could fight any middleweight from the past, who would it be and why?
I always would like to fight Roberto Duran. I liked him as a fighter. I think he kind of similar-ish to myself, and come forward fighter that doesn't want to take a backward step, and I think it would have been quite an enjoyable dust-up for the fans, and yeah, probably him.
I've got some very interesting news for you about Roberto Duran. Do you know that Roberto Duran is the trainer for Sugar Shane Mosley?
I didn't know that.
Yep, he's the trainer for Sugar Shane Mosley, who will be coming back to make another attempt at a world title shot, this time against Danny Garcia in May. I think Danny Garcia in May.
Ooh, he's going to get knocked out. I think Roberto Duran's training career mightn't be as successful as his fighting career.
Well, according to Sugar Shane Mosley, if he'd had Duran in his corner years ago, he'd have been unbeatable.
Yeah, I think, I'm not saying anything about Roberto Duran. I think he probably will be a very good trainer, but I don't think Sugar Shane Mosley will have any chance against Danny Garcia.
Okay. Let's see. I'll take a couple more questions. Oh, Fikami says, BoxRec ranks Spike at number 50 worldwide. Where does he rank himself? That's a nice just question.
Number 49.
Number 49. Do you ever look at BoxRec or the Boxing Monthly, or do you ever look at a ranking and think, nah, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than that guy. I'm definitely better than that guy.
Yeah, all the time, every day.
You do it all the time?
Nah, not really. I look at BoxRec, if the promoter rings me up, you're fighting such a guy, I look at BoxRec and see his stats, his height and who he's fought before, and watch a bit of YouTube, see his fight.
Right, guys. I'm going to close the interview off now because Spike's been with us for more than an hour. Two final questions for myself, Spike. Question number one is, do you look at yourself on YouTube?
Yeah.
You do?
Almost as much as I look at myself in the mirror.
You joker. And let me see. Let's see what else. Oh, who's the biggest clown in boxing, in Spike's opinion? I think he's already said it, but this is what Cameron asked. Who's the biggest clown in boxing?
Jeez. I think Eubank would rank right up there anyway. I think Anthony Ogogo is probably his apprentice.
Anthony, no. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's had to catch me off guard.
But Eubank Ogogo's apprentice. You're a joker, Mike. Oh, dear me, you're bringing tears to my eyes. Is there anybody else? Yep. Okay. Mark Froggatt says, cheers, Spike, top bloke. Ben Blackwell says, thanks, fellas. Spike, is there anything you'd like to say to boxing fans that have watched the interview or watched you?
I just like to thank them all for tuning in and supporting me, and it was great talking to them, and I look forward to coming on in the future with yourself again, Ingram, and chatting to all the fans. It's fantastic, and thanks for having me on.
Final question for myself. Are you going to see Eubank versus Blackwell?
Am I going to go and see?
Yes.
I consider myself quite a disciplined person, but I'm afraid I'm still undecided whether to go or not, because if I do go, it's quite possible that I might end up giving Chris a slap. So
what about if I go, we can go together?
Yeah, will you be my bodyguard, hold me back?
I don't know about bodyguard. I'll probably be there trying to film it all, trying to get views for YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Okay, I think that's it. Is anybody else got anything else to say? Spike, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I'll let you know if I'm gonna go. I'm undecided yet. I might go.
Okay, well I might be going to.
Well.
You want to see Frank Buglioni as well? Of course. Let's see. People are saying, Ben Blackwell says, thanks, fellas. Neil Hart says, top man, Spike, best of luck. Mark Smith says, good luck in the future, Spike. Cameron says, all the best, Spike.
Thanks very much, lads. Greatly appreciate it. And thanks again. And sure, I'll talk to you all soon. And
your Spike, your Twitter handle for those people who don't know you're on Twitter.
It's Spike_O'Sullivan.
Okay, and do you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, Gary Spike O'Sullivan.
Perfect. Okay. Spike, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. Thank you for taking the time to talk to the fans. And we look forward to speaking to you soon.
I'll leave you with this kiss.
Take care, Spike.
Talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, boxing fans, thank you so much for tuning in to watch Spike O'Sullivan live. Let me know your thoughts on the interview tonight, whether you like the format of now you've been able to take part in the interviews and be able to, ask your questions. I thought that it would be a good idea to do it this way. Thanks to Cameron for showing me how to get back on to do the old Google Hangouts and to be able to get other boxers on. I will keep trying to do this format and see who else we can get on. So let's see if there's people in the room and what they have to say about it. One of the main reasons why I like doing interviews like this is because you get to know more about the fighter. You get to know a bit more about their personality. So I'm really happy that Spike gave me the opportunity to do the interview with him. I mean, I could have gone down the road and interviewed him, but Gazzo says I enjoyed it. Mark Smith says that was a great format. Thank you both. Pekadeka. Missed half of it though. You didn't miss any of it, Gazzo, because you can always go back and watch the replay. That's the beauty of being on YouTube. So that'll be up on YouTube next 10 or 15 minutes. You go back. Good interview. Get another hour of show of just talking boxing as well. They're the best. Great show. Good format, Ingram. Thank you very much, guys. I think, okay, it seems fair enough because people are logging out now, so could do that actually. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Breaking news, just to let you all know, Dave the White Rhino Allen will be fighting Jason Gavin on the Kelbrook undercard. I'll be looking to have a word with Dave Allen, try and get his thoughts on the fight and get Jason Gavin's thoughts as well. So I probably won't do extra show now. What I'll do is try and get you as an extra interview. So this is Ingram Jones from Bayloric TV. Lots of love to you all. Keep your gloves up, and hopefully by the end of the week I'll have a little surprise for you. Take care.